Everyone deserves to experience love and happiness in their lives, as love is what truly makes the world go round. However, for 17-year-old Yana Summers, things are not so straightforward. When she discovered her true love, they faced ridicule and pressure that threatened to tear their relationship apart. But why did this happen? What events unfolded? The answer may surprise you. Life in the heart of London is always bustling. People are constantly on the move, meeting new friends, falling in love, getting married, having children, and enjoying life together. To Yana, it all seemed fast-paced and exhilarating. However, she had convinced herself that she would never find love or experience anything like that. Yana felt different from the other girls. She lived with osteogenesis imperfecta, commonly known as OI or brittle bone disease. This condition weakens both bones and muscles due to a genetic disorder, leading to bone deformities and growth issues. At just 3 feet 3 inches tall and weighing only 3.9 stone, Yana was acutely aware that she wasn't perceived as the pretty girl or someone boys would want to date. Sadly, she often considered herself a bit of a freak. Throughout high school, she endured severe bullying and spent her teenage years in and out of hospitals, suffering from numerous broken bones and fractures. "Who was going to love someone like me?" recalled Yana. "All I had to do was look at my peer group in school to see that I was nothing like those girls. They all had long, gorgeous legs, skinny bodies with all the right curves. And then there was me, just this small thing in the corner." People stared, people pointed, and people called her names, hurling all kinds of horrible and unforgiving things at her. In fact, things got so bad that Yana even considered ending it all. Until one fateful day, when she received a friend request on social media. Noah was just your average boy. Tall, thin, kind of gangly and geeky, but nothing out of the ordinary. He was popular, had friends, and did all the fun stuff that you do when you're in college. But while walking through the corridors of the college, Yana caught his eye. He couldn't stop staring, but not for the usual reasons that people stared at her. Noah felt the pang of Cupid's arrow strike him. Being shy and unsure of what to say, he walked away and instead opted to send her a message via social media. The two started talking and quickly found out that they had a lot in common. They enjoyed the same kinds of music, watched the same kinds of films, and liked the same kinds of food. It was a match made in heaven. They quickly struck up a friendship that felt like it had been around forever and spent evenings messaging and talking on the phone. After a few weeks of getting to know each other, Noel plucked up the courage to ask Yana out on a date, a request that she immediately responded yes to. Little did they know that people would soon start to take issue with this burgeoning relationship, pushing them almost to the point of no return. But for now, this blissfully unaware young couple went on their very first date to a local fancy restaurant. Much to Yana's surprise, the staff and other guests made them feel comfortable and at home. For the first time in a long time, she felt normal and even kind of sexy, just like the other girls she used to go to school with. They talked for hours on end and even discussed Yana's condition, with Noah listening attentively, keen to understand everything about the girl he had fallen for. After a long night of talking, good food, and far too many drinks, they made their way home, promising each other that they would definitely have a second date. And those dates never stopped. It was the perfect romantic story. However, things would start to turn sour when both Yana and Noah began noticing something. You see, whenever the couple would go out on a date, they would start to notice people giving them funny looks. People looked in puzzlement and even disgust at this strange couple, with some individuals even coming up and questioning why Noah had fallen for someone like Yana. At first, they would ignore it and try to brush it off, but before too long, dating became an uncomfortable experience for both of them. It's no wonder they felt uncomfortable and out of place when people treated them like circus attractions. "We felt as if we were something from a Victorian circus," said Noah, recalling the people who stared. "It's like we had 3 legs or 2 heads or something. It's horrible to think that you're so strange or weird to someone that they just have to stare at you." Continuing the thought, Yana said, "I'm never going to understand why people think they have the right to stare like that. Yes, I have a why. I accept that and I'm dealing with it, just like Noah accepts it. but to see them looking or hear what they say about us is really heartbreaking. While they tried to avoid dating in relatively public places, they decided to take a trip to the cinema to see a movie one evening. On their way into the theater, they noticed a group of teenagers sitting around, drinking and giving them the usual funny looks. Quite used to this kind of unsolicited attention now, Yana and No shrugged it off. Screw them, right? Little did they know what awaited them when the movie finished. After leaving the cinema, they bumped into the same group of teenagers, who immediately started mocking the couple, making fun of Yana's height and looks, and ridiculing why they were together. One boy even purposefully bumped into Noah, knocking him over and causing him to dislocate his shoulder. They mercilessly continued shouting derogatory terms at both of them as Yana helped Noah to his feet, and they hurried away. They could hear the group of belligerents shouting and laughing at them as they escaped to call emergency services to deal with Noah's painful dislocated shoulder. Yana was distraught after the encounter, feeling that Noah wouldn't have received such hate or ended up being injured if it weren't for her. She was inconsolable as the ambulance arrived to take Noah to the hospital, questioning the future of their relationship. Should they stay together? Could this continue? How would she cope if people kept bullying them and hurting Noah? Was it cruel of her to keep Noah in the line of fire like this? Was any of it worth it? All signs were pointing to no. But the story doesn't end there, and what happened to them years later will shock you. You see, Yana and No stay together, and what's more, they even married and had 3 children. They decided that they couldn't let the hate they suffered overcome their love. It was clear that they were right for each other, and neither saw the height difference or Yana's condition as an issue. Yana couldn't believe her luck in finding someone who saw her not as someone with OI, but just as a normal person. Someone who would look after her and love her without judgment. I never imagined this would be possible for me, Yana said tearfully, reflecting on how Noah accepted her without hesitation. I finally found happiness and began living the life I always dreamed of but never thought I deserved, and it's all thanks to Noah. While this is certainly a heartwarming conclusion, it's not even the most remarkable part of their story. Yana and Noah went on to establish a company that traveled to schools and colleges nationwide to promote tolerance and acceptance. They shared their personal experiences of being ridiculed and bullied by those who didn't understand their love. These discussions allowed children and young adults to learn the importance of accepting others for their differences and recognizing that love transcends all boundaries. They transformed what could have been a painful memory, a scar in their lives, into something truly meaningful and beautiful. For that, Yana and Noah have every reason to be proud. What are your thoughts on this heartwarming story? How would you have handled the stares and name-calling if you were Yana or Noah? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our channel. Thank you.